Hey guys, it's Emily here. Hope you all are doing well. I thought I would go ahead and give you a little video here on how to use Zoom conferencing. To their website, I usually just type it into Google and I click on the sign in part. And then once I go to sign in, I have various settings that are kind of already pre-done. Whenever you create your initial account, they'll go ahead and ask you a couple of questions, but you'll always want to make sure that you sign in with Google. That way you don't have to worry about memorizing your passwords. At least that's how I am. So the top right-hand corner, you're going to have three different items here. And I would say as a teacher, most of us are going to be scheduling out our Zoom meetings so that students know when to meet with each other. So I'm going to be clicking on the schedule meeting here. I would go ahead and I would title it, maybe period 2 is meeting with Vasquez or whatever. I could give a description about what I'm going to be going over for the day. And then it's going to give you your date and time of the meeting. The duration, I don't know what happens actually if you run it past this time, but I just put an hour usually for most of these. If you're going to set up, make sure your time zone's correct too, by the way. If you're going to be setting up a meeting, like a weekly check-in with your students, then you would want to check this box for a recurring meeting. I personally always just generate an automatic meeting personal ID for that meeting. This is an important box right here, require a meeting password. I would make sure that this is unchecked because you're probably going to be sending this out to your students with a link that they can access. So whoever has the link can go ahead and hop on. As far as the videos are considered, this is up to you, but as the host, I would want my students to be able to see me, so I'm going to put that on. However, for your students, we may not want to see what's happening on their end. I understand you might want them to speak to each other or to have that communication. So think about that as a safety caution. You know, we can't control the atmospheres in which we're seeing, and whenever we select on and allow our students to be able to see their current living situation or other people in the background. So for me personally, I would select off for my students if I was using it in that format. If I'm doing a smaller group activity with maybe 4 or 5 students, I might consider clicking on. I always do telephone and computer audio. And then down here are some meeting options. If you want them to be able to join before you hop on, then you can do that. But again, they would be able to chat with each other and everything without you being able to see what they wrote. So I personally wouldn't check that. I do mute participants upon entry, and you'll probably see some screenshot instructions on that. And in regards to muting, that's kind of important because you can get a lot of feedback when you have, more than 30 people on at one time. If you want to enable a waiting room, that will allow them to be able to wait for the host. And if you want to record the meeting, maybe you're not sure if your students will be able to make it at that time, but you want the video to be available for students to come back and look at it later or whenever they do have time, then I would select that as well. Okay, you're going to hit save. It'll automatically load into your calendar. So let's say we want to do an Outlook calendar, for example. And then from there, everything looks good. All of my settings are good. I'm going to go over here to copy invitation. And this is what I like. So I copy invitation. Most of us have Google Classroom. I can literally copy this entire thing, do Control C. I can copy my meeting invitation down here below as well. And then I can paste it into my Google Classroom. And then my students kind of has all of the information that they would need. This pops up as a website where they can click on it. And that's just as easy as that. Okay. Students actually, if they want to use Zoom, you only just need the meeting ID number if they go to the app, but having the website is just convenient. I just literally copy this entire thing and paste it for my students. So that is how you create or schedule a Zoom meeting. Hope that was helpful.